Hello, and we are live. Hi, Sarika. Oh, cool. Let's see who we have here. Safika. I hope you can help me learn how to say that. Hello, and hello, Fossils. So good to see you here. Anybody else out there? We would love to have you say hello while we're saying our hellos, and drop us and let us know where you're from if you feel comfortable with that city, state, country, whatever you want. That would be great. We'd love to know where you are and where you are in the world. And we are so very happy to have you here. I'm Carolyn, also known as Admissions Mom. You can find me on Reddit and on Instagram, and also now on YouTube doing these workshops and live streams. So, and I've got here with me Carly, who is my amazing helper and assistant. Carly, I'm going to let you introduce yourself for just a second.
Hi, I'm Carly. I'm from Portland, Oregon. I'm at a community college here studying communications. I'm moderator on r/applying to college. I also help run the Applying to College Discord server. So if you have any questions about that or applying to college, feel free to let me know.
And Carly, you're doing transfer applications this year too, right? So you're kind of diving into that aspect. So Carly has now experienced freshman applications and transfer, and she's in the middle of transfer applications. So she might be able to give you some of her helpful hints from her life experiences about that too, in addition to all of her amazing work she does on the Discord and in our amazing subreddit, Applying to College. So I'm from Houston, Texas. I'm actually in Houston, Texas right now. I also spend some time in California because I have kids who live there, and I spend some time in Colorado because I like to be there to escape the Houston heat occasionally. So we've got Sefika, and I hope I'm saying your name right. I'm really sorry if I'm botching it. From Turkey. So happy to have you here. Anyone else want to say hello? We'd love to hear where you're from, what you're doing, how you're feeling about everything. While we're saying our hellos, one thing I would like for you to do is to get and make a new copy of your personal essay just for this workshop so that you can work on it, and you'll have an original copy that you won't have messed up too much. So you can go back to that and look at it. So while we're waiting for everybody to kind of jump in and say hello, please go make a new copy. For those of you who are watching this on the recording, this might be a good time for you to pause, go make a new copy of your essay so that when you're into the workshop aspect of it, you're ready to go. Let's see if anybody else is going to jump on and say hello. And so happy to see you all here. We are going to take, while you're making your copies, those of you who are already not copied, well, we're going to just take just a minute and ground ourselves here where we are. If you know anything about me, if you've followed me on Reddit or on Instagram, you know that I believe that the college admissions journey and experience is really important for your self-growth, for your learning more about yourself, but also it's an important time to learn skills to handle stress, because no doubt this is an incredibly stressful time in your life. And I want you to learn how to be able to work with that stress so that you can work with the stress, you learn to control the stress, not let the stress control you. So no matter what we're working on, whether it's essays, activities, interviews, we're going to always take a minute just to ground ourselves and be in this moment. So what I want you to do is just put your feet on the floor for just a second. I'm not going to make you stand up this time, Carly. And I want you just to put your hands out in front of you, however you want to do, like that. And I want you just to stare at your hands. Don't stare at anything else. Don't stare at the screen. Don't stare at me. Just stare at your hands and just breathe normally. Good. Okay, and then just shake them. Then just shake your arms. And then I want you to take your hands and put them back together and rub them really fast. Rub them really, really fast. Feel that warmth. Feel it, feel it, feel it, feel it, feel it. And then just let it all go. And then we're just here. And we've kind of like loosened up again. Okay, so we have Nuradil from Kazakhstan. Hey, so glad to have you here. Yeah, we should be able to get you ready for the early deadlines right now. And we have Mohammed from Egypt. Well, we have a very international group today. So we've got Texas, Oregon, and Egypt, Turkey, Kazakhstan, Fossil. I'm not sure where you're from. But we are so happy to have you all here, and let's just get ready to dive in. Do you have your copies ready? So let me know in the chat if you're ready to go, and I'm going to be ready to go. Oh, I got to go get my presentation. Hold on 1 second. There we go. Okay. So we are just going to dive in. This today is our editing and review workshop. If you have questions about other aspects of the application, do not hesitate to ask me at the end. If you have questions about editing and review as we're going through here, for sure, just like dive in and ask me. I'll try to see them. Carly, if I happen to miss a question and that you think is pertinent, just throw it up on the screen. Okay. Oh, great. Fossil from Connecticut. Okay, so we've got East Coast, West Coast, center of the country here. So we've got the United States covered. Awesome. All right, so this is our Badass College Apps Editing and Review Workshop. Thank you all for being here. So here's the deal with your personal essay. And I don't know how many of you came to my personal essay workshop, but the main thing is that your voice needs to shine through and you must be heard. So we know that, right? But you got to get rid of the mess around it to make that happen. And that's what we're going to be working on today. So here's a few structural thoughts. Don't start your essay with a quote. I don't know if any of you are doing that, but if you are, this is a good thing to just eliminate from the beginning. You want to catch their attention and draw them into who you are as soon as possible, not who somebody else is and what that says. In your basic essay, do not have this be a rehash of your activities list and your honors. That's not what this is for. You have a whole activities section you can do to talk about your activities. You can use the additional information if you feel like they need more space to understand it. And many colleges have why extracurricular essays where you can expand on that. So don't worry about that. And avoid too much narrative. I know everybody is telling you like this show don't tell. And I think that gets really confusing to kids to what that means. It doesn't mean you have to be like overly descriptive with like all kinds of like adjectives and adverbs out there. It means just like, don't tell them like don't tell them like I'm nice. You're going to show them you're nice by giving them examples of it. But also you need some analysis and commentary. So that's very important in this essay because they're trying to get in your head. So they can't just see the outside part of who you are in this essay. They have to see inside what's happening in your head. So be sure you get into some analysis and commentary about what all of this means to you. And so I like you to think of it as like show and tell, kind of like when you were in kindergarten. I'm going to stop for a minute and just say hello to Kagindra from Nepal. Thank you for being here. So happy to have you here. All right. Details. Now, this is something where you're going to be needing to add into your essay if you are like any of the other hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of kids that I have read their essays over the last few years. You don't put enough details about you and about your story. And that's how I get to know you. Your details are what make the essay about you. So nearly always substitute the word things with specific nouns. So if you're using the word things in your essay, that's something to control F and look for. Make sure you're being very specific about what you mean. If you say my friends, tell me your friends' names. My friends Beth and Charlie, my friends Muhammad and Fossil. Tell me their names. If you're saying the words others, people, who are they? What others? What people are you talking about? If you're saying I took classes, what classes? IB Chem AP, or what classes do you want to take? Is it the anthropology of the 16th century, Russians or whatever? I don't know the name of the classes, but what classes have you taken and what classes are you taking? Don't just like say something basic for classes. You're going to look through and see where your essay is vague and make it more specific, because specificity is what makes your essay uniquely you. So you're going to go deep into the specifics. Don't worry about word count because specificity is necessary. We're going to talk about what's not necessary to get rid of the word count. Syntax. Let's quickly go through this. And we're going to get to the workshop part in just a minute, but I wanted to go through some basics. Slang is fine, as long as it's not inappropriate or disrespectful. And you're sure the readers will be familiar with the words. Feel free to use casual language. This is not a formal essay, your personal essay. So your use of slang should fit your style as a writer. I have a certain style, you have a certain style, and it should fit you. And if you're not sure what your writing style is, what is your talking style? If you're talking to somebody slightly older than you, than who you respect, how do you talk to them? Avoid overly complicated syntax. This is something that I see time and time and time again when I'm reviewing essays. Sometimes complicated syntax works, and that's cool. It's your comfort level and how you approach it. But complicated syntax creates a wall between you and your reader. And we've talked in the personal essay live stream a few weeks ago about how your job is to build a bridge between you and the reader. You don't want walls. You want open, flowing communication of ideas. And if somebody's trying to like struggle through what you've said because of your syntax and maybe your vocabulary, you are not having open, flowing communication streams. You've got a wall that you've put up. That's not what you want. Don't sound like you swallowed a thesaurus. It's off-putting to read when somebody else is choking, like it feels like you're choking. So thesaurus words build barriers, and you want to get rid of that. Do not even use a thesaurus, I'm going to tell you, because honestly, if you're using a thesaurus, you probably don't understand the exact meaning of that word, and it's not going to work or flow right. Just use the words you would use. Be playful with your language. If that's your thing, that's cool. Have fun with it. And be sincere. Like your voice needs to shine through. So if there's any sentences that don't sound like your voice, for sure, get rid of them and put in the words that do. I'm going to stop with some questions here. Hello from Florida to Silkberries. Nice to see you. And good question here, Fossil. Would heck be okay? My English teacher wanted me to cut that word out of my essay, but I used it in a funny way. I have no problem at all with the word heck. English teachers are great resources. I was an English teacher for most of my life before I became a college consultant. And so sometimes you need to listen to them. I'm not sure exactly what syntax she was saying, but for sure it's okay to use the word heck. I mean, in what context she was saying that, but for sure it's okay to use the word heck in an essay for a personal essay. I've even had students curse in personal essays, and if it works there, it's fine. But what you don't want to, but I'm not sure why your teacher wanted you to cut it. Maybe she didn't feel like it worked in that context. I'm not sure. So I'm not going to tell you your teacher was wrong. I'm just going to say that I'm okay with the word heck in general. How about that for my answer there? So English teachers, don't come at me. Okay. Quick check to see if your essay is personal or not. And we'll be working on this a little bit later, but I just want you to be thinking about this. Can you easily add to your essay, or do you already have some of these? I think, I believe, to me. Like, can you fit that in your essay? Cool. If you can't, if there's nowhere you can add or you don't have the words I think, I believe, or to me, it's probably not enough about you. And then have fun. I would much rather, as an essay reader, and I read many, many essays, read an essay written by an okay writer who's enjoying themselves than like the most talented essay writer ever who couldn't care less. Like, I want to feel you in the essay, and I want to feel that you're having fun with your essay. All right, so here's some basic things for editing, and then we're going to get into the workshop part. Read your essay out loud. Read it out loud at least 10 times to someone else, anyone, like a parent, a dog, a stuffed animal, your next door neighbor, the cat who lives outside, whatever. Just read it out loud. And then ask someone to read it back to you. You're not looking for feedback here. You're looking for bumps. And when I say read it out loud, I do mean read it out loud. Do not read it in your head, even if you're just reading to yourself. And a really cool trick for this, if you don't have anybody else to read it to, is to record yourself. Read it and record it, and then listen to it. Where do you hear the bumps? Where does it not feel right to you? Where does it not feel like you? That's where you need to stop and really work on your editing. Now, this one is kind of funny. Read it backwards. So start at your last sentence and move up. This is a great way to find missing words, words that don't fit in the context, where you've like made a typo, because our brains fix things automatically as we read. So if you read it backwards, you're taking it out of context. And I'm not saying read every word backwards, just read the sentences backwards. So then you can find like those little typos, silly mistakes that you weren't planning on having. And another thing is to print your essay. So you can, print it up on your printer if you have a printer, and then read it out loud or have somebody read it to you. Sometimes you can see things on paper that you don't see on a screen because our brains get so stuck in a certain way of what things need to look like. It's totally cool to use contractions. I find that they're much more personal. They're more casual. Remember, you're looking for this open flowing stream of communication between you and the reader. When you speak, we use contractions. And you want it to feel like a conversation that you're having between you and the reader. Also, it helps eliminate bumps. When you read, you want them to flow through it quickly, and you want them to grasp who you are quickly. So you want them to be not stumbling on words. I've heard from various sources that they're going to spend approximately maybe 2 minutes on this personal essay. So it really needs to be this open flowing sense of conversation, sense of like communication between you and them. This is one that kids really don't like, but I'm going to tell you to do it anyway. Eliminate most and really all of your adverbs. Adverbs do not add anything to your writing. They muddy it up and they make you seem like an unsophisticated writer, which, you probably are because you're in high school, but that's okay. But instead of using adverbs, use strong verbs. And you'll find as you start eliminating them that your writing will get stronger. And every time you use the word very, really, truly, just get rid of it. You don't need it. And most of your that's, I'm not going to say all of them because some of them are necessary, but these are good things to control F for. You can control F for really, very, truly, that, see if you need them, or you can even control F for LY to find all your adverbs and see and try to get rid of them. Look for your repetitive words and phrases in this. I'm coming back to control F here. There are only so many times you can read the words passion and unique without having your eyes glaze over. So think about your reader here. Find your repetitive words and sentences. Be sure to look, I repeated myself. Control F is your friend here. I should have taken that off. I should have control F on this little sheet here. Be sure to look for these words. Would, like I see some reason all of y'all are using the word would over and over and over right now. So I would definitely control F. Would. Passion, unique, excited, always, challenge, love, opportunity. It's okay to use those once, maybe twice in an essay, but that's not a word those are not words I need to see over and over and over. Find new words. Find new ways to talk about yourself. And then the thumb test. So at the end, when you've done your writing, when you've done your essay editing, when you've done your review, and you've added in back words to make it more personal, to make it more detailed, do the thumb test. If you hold your finger over your name at the top of your essay, would your mom know who wrote it? If your best friend came across this essay on the floor in your high school, would they know that it was yours without seeing your name? Right? This is how you're going to somebody needs to be able to know this essay is about you without knowing who it is. They don't have any background information. They're just going to know it's you. So now we're ready. So now what I'd like for you to do is get your essays out and have a copy. So hopefully you've all got your new, fresh copy of your essay. And let me know when you're ready to go. Just type a ready in the thing so I can see if you're ready before we move on, because I'm going to be moving pretty fast now. And so I want you with me. So those of you who are here, I'm just going to wait for you just a second to let me know if you're ready or not to get going on this review. And maybe nobody's ready. Let's see. Okay. Silkberries is ready. Yay. We've got a Silkberries. Thank you. Anyone else ready? Yep. Sephica's ready. Nuradil is ready. Ready. Awesome. Fossil is ready. Okay. Let's get going then. All right. So this first exercise we're going to do is pretty ruthless, and that's why it's called the Ruthless Cutting Exercise. I borrowed this exercise from a teacher I work with in the summers. During the summers, I work for a college admissions application getting ready program called Admit One. And this teacher that I love, who I work with, does this exercise every year, and I love it, so I want to share it with you too. It comes from a writer whose name is George Saunders. There's a great video, actually. where he describes this, but he describes his repetitive and iterative process of reading and rereading each sentence and putting pressure on every single word. So his language is compressed, concise, dense, descriptive, detailed, and powerful as possible. And we have to go through a lot of drafts to get there. So we're going to just get going. All right, let's jump it in. So here's the first thing we're going to do. I'm going to set my timer for 2 minutes. And I want you to be thinking about all the things that I talked about to cut, all your very's, really's, truly's, adverbs, that's, anything like that. And so this time we're just going to cut 10 words. And so I'm going to set my timer for 2 minutes. Let me get there. Timer. Okay. And in 2 minutes, I want you to cut 10 words out of your essay. Now, before you get started, probably you want to do a word count to see how many words you have so that you can kind of keep track. All right, and go. When you're done, just let me know you're done, because if we're all done before the 2 minutes are up, then we can move on. But I've set my timer for 2 minutes and cut 10 words. If you want to go look back in my notes here a little bit, I can show you this page here. And then also this next one, repetitive words. So you can be thinking about repetitive words. You can also use contractions here to get rid of words. This 10 is easy. I don't think it's going to take you the whole 2 minutes. You have 30 more seconds to finish cutting your 10 words. When you're done cutting your 10 words, if you could just type a few of them in the chat, that'd be great. I'd love to know what words you found that you could cut easily in this first round. And we are done. So I would love to know what words you cut. Let me give you a minute to type them in the chat. You can type all 10 words you cut or just a few of them. Love to know what you found that you could easily cut in this first round. Truly and intentionally. Excellent. Truly and intentionally. Nice job. We finding some desperately, utterly, novel, vast. Okay, cool. I'd love to know your reasoning behind some of those, the novel and the vast. Interesting. I guess you felt like it just didn't work. Anybody else have some they want to share that they cut? Okay, so now we are moving to the next phase. This time you're going to have 3 minutes and you have to cut 20 words. So I'm going to set my timer. Where's my timer? I'm going to give you 3 minutes this time and cut 20 words. Remember, we're kind of looking for space in order for you to expand on areas that might give you more analysis, more commentary, or more details. So you've got 3 minutes, cut 20 words. Perfect. Love that. Change my sister to her name and save lots of space. Love it. And you added the specificity that you needed there. So that was excellent, Nuradil. I'm going to go back here just to kind of like remind you repetitive words and phrases. So if you need to control F some of these words, I'll leave these up for you to look at. Or these. You have about 1 minute left to get all 20 of your words. If you get done before, just tell me done and maybe tell me a few of those words that you cut. I'd love to see them, see what you're coming up with. If you're just joining us, welcome, and we're so happy to have you here. And if you want to jump in and make sure you have a copy of your essay, and we're going through a cutting exercise right now, so make sure you have like a new copy just to use here. And that's time. So, hey, Amen. Nice to see you again. Sorry you were running late. We are doing a cutting exercise now with your essay. So make sure you have a new, like brand new copy of your essay. And right now we're cutting words out to give ourselves some space to add in a little more analysis, a little more commentary, and more details a little bit later. So tell me a few of the words you were able to change. Would love to hear what you did. Sefika, Fossil, Nuradil, were you able to find any words? Silkberries, were you able to get rid of any words? You're welcome. Amen. Let's see if anybody wants to share any of their words they got rid of. Give you another second to think about that. And if nobody wants to share, that's okay. Oh, okay. I cut words like that too, really. Perfect. Yeah, perfect. Most just cutting unneeded sentences rather than words. Oh, that's great. Excellent. So you're finding some repetition there. I am soon to conclude. I am concluding. Perfect. Remove new as well. Okay, nice job. All right. I believe I've already used all the tips you suggested. Way to go. Well, then jump right in and start doing this exercise. It'll help you more. Okay, so now we're going to set the timer for another 3 minutes, and you're going to cut 40 words. You're going to have to move a little faster this time. 3 minutes, 40 words. out of it again. So, Eamon, you might have to find that you're going to have to go beyond those words. So this is where like really cutting sentences, especially I find a lot of times that students repeat themselves because they're not quite sure how they wanted to say something. And so they say it again. I do that a lot in my writing. I find that I say the same thing like 3 or 4 times because I want to make sure my point comes across. I think it's from my years and years and years of teaching. So, look for sentences where you've repeated yourself here. That might help with getting rid of those 40 words. But I already started your timer. You have 2.5 minutes left. 40 words. You have about 1 minute left. Less than 30 seconds now. So it's time to get ruthless. And time. Okay. Anybody want to toss some in that you found there that you wanted to get rid of? Or have any thoughts or suggestions for other people about what they could do? Because now we're going to really get ruthless. Okay. So we are moving on to our last round. In this round, it's the super ruthless round. You're going to cut 70 more words. So 70 more words. You're going to have to go fast because you only get 3 minutes. So what is it you really don't need in this essay? Where are you putting too much description? Where are you where are you like repeating yourself over and over? Where are you repeating words? We're going to really just cut things out that aren't absolutely positively necessary to what you want to say here. And go. 70 words. Good job, Fossil. 2 minutes left. If you're just joining in, we are cutting a bunch of words out of our essays right now. I will have these slides available for you to read now, but right now what we're doing is we're taking about 3 minutes and we're cutting 70 words from the essays. So you might want to be thinking about having a new copy of your essay and joining in with us. See if you can get rid of 70 words that aren't essential to your essay. You have about 40 seconds left. For those of you watching on the recordings later, I hope that you are going along and doing this because it really will make your essay much stronger to get rid of all the fluff and just focus on the necessities of your essay and what it is that you want to share about who you are. And 10 seconds left to finish cutting your 70 words. And done. Okay. Anybody have, let's see what we got here. Change take off with unplug. That's about it. Okay. That's a good way to get rid of one word. Anybody have any luck getting rid of 70 words? Can you tell me how many words you got rid of altogether? You want to throw it out there? If you followed through and did it all, you got rid of 140 words. So if you had a 650 word essay, that's about 20% of the count. Writing out a draft and then cutting by 20% every time you write is a great rule of thumb for all of your writing. Take this with you when you're writing for college too, because you want to make sure that your writing is funnier, kinder, less full of crap than it was on the first draft. And now, oh, wow. Okay. 650 to 575. Excellent. Okay. Anybody else have any luck getting rid of some words? Let's see if anybody else did. So now, Fossil, because you did such a great job with that, you have a lot of space to go back into your essay if you want, if you feel like you need it, to be able to add those specifics, to be able to really get into more commentary about what you think about things, some more analysis about why whatever you're talking about is important in your life. So that gives you some space to go through and be more specific. Anybody else have any luck cutting a bunch of words? All right. 60, nice. 605 to 529. Excellent. All right. So now, if you haven't yet gotten to these tips, make sure you do. So just take a minute now and search for your veries, reallys, and trulies and get rid of them. If you haven't gotten rid of your adverbs, go through and search for those and get rid of them. You search for that. And if it's not necessary to understand the sentence, get rid of that. Use contractions and get rid of these words, plethora and myriad. I want everybody to search for plethora and myriad. And if you have them in your essay, delete them because honestly, college admissions counselors, for some reason, just roll their eyes at those words. Also, like if you have a bunch of passions, like I would just get rid of it because passion and unique, they show up all the time over and over and over. Find a new way, another word for that. I'm going to leave you a few minutes to work on these if you need to. And then, oh, wow. Okay. We have a 594 to 414. That's amazing. That's fantastic. Wow. Good for you. So you found a lot of things that weren't necessary or that you didn't feel like. So now you have a lot of space to go through and add specifics, to add your analysis, your commentary, and make this essay about you. This is the end of like the workshop part of this. You'll get a copy of these slides somehow. Carly, can you put it in the chat? Will they be able to get it there? A link? And then also, but I am going to open up to questions, to sentences that you want me to take a look at, to things that you want to copy on here, and I'll read and see what I think about it. So this is your time. We have about 15 more minutes. I'm going to be here. If you want to be here, I'm going to be hanging out. It's kind of like you're asking me anything about editing my essays right now. So feel free to jump on and ask me questions about what it is, what I might think you should do for your essay, or what you might want to ask me about. And let's see if Carly can figure out how to get the, it's in the Badass College Apps folder. Okay, there it is. Oh, cool. So 6:45 to 6:49 ended up cleaning up a sentence and added 4 words. Well, maybe you needed to have some more specifics there, huh? You might want to try a little bit harder to get down with your words, Eamon, just to go through the exercise. Like, I think you'll probably find that you might have repeated a sentence or two or repeated yourself, because we all do it. That's what we do. Like, I'm repeating myself right now. So you might want to just give it a try to see if you can get down to like 600 words, to give yourself a little space to go through and be more specific later. So that link that Carly just put, I don't know if you have it linked, or you might have to copy and paste it, but that is a link to go get this slideshow, this presentation, so you can go through all these steps on your own, or read through the steps on your own. And we're just going to see if anybody has any questions. I'll sit here for a few minutes. I know it takes you a minute to type them out. While you're typing out your questions, I'm going to tell you how to get in touch with me. And for those of you who are watching this essay later, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I'm just available for you as the ones who come live. I really do appreciate you, though, the ones who come live, because it helps me to have someone that I know that I'm talking to in person. But I know that not everybody can come live. It's not always a great time. And I know lots of you watch later, and I appreciate that too. So here's how you can get in touch with me. I have an email, and Carly, you can type this in for me. admissionsmoma2c@gmail.com. You can email me there and get as much information as you want. For that email, that's the one if you want to get my 5-minute essay review for free. I offer that to anyone and everyone who wants to have a 5-minute essay review. I do get a little busy at this time of year, as you can imagine, so you want to make sure you get in line really early. If you email me there and ask me for the guidelines to do the 5-minute essay review. So don't just send me your essay, because I have very specific guidelines you have to follow. So you can email me there and get that. You can find me on Reddit at u/admissionsmom. My DMs are open. You can find me on Instagram at @admissionsmom. My DMs are open. You can also I have a website, www.admissionsmom.college, where I have all of my blogs, everything that I want that for you to know about. All of my resources are there for you. I'm a big believer in college access and making sure that resources are available to anyone and everyone who wants it. So anything I write or create for my private students, I put out there in the world for everybody else. Let's see, Fossil, here's a question. What do you think of sentences that are very strong and grandiose? Not sure how to describe it. Like, this is my last sentence. Exploration through the scientific method is a lens I cannot live without. I think that I would probably, okay, let's see. For context, I talked about how I love exploring Bollywood dancing, used to hate dancing, and neuroscience. And thank you again for doing this. This helped a ton. Oh, great. Okay. This is your last sentence. Exploration through the scientific method is a lens I cannot live without. I don't know. I think because you probably can live without it. So that might be something that might make somebody roll their eyes a little bit. I would probably kind of just say, like, so something about dancing and neuroscience and exploration through the scientific method. I would probably tone that down a little bit, but just say it's, important to me, or, necessary for my personal growth, something like that. And let's see, Sefika, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for attending. Anybody else have any questions about your essays or about editing your essays before we close up for today? If you want to throw a sentence out there. Thank you, Carly, for putting all that out there. And if you don't want to ask your questions here, you can feel free to ask me on Reddit or on my website or on that email address, admissionsmom826@gmail.com. I am happy to share with you and to give my advice that way too, for those of you here live and for those of you who are watching on the live stream. And so since I don't see any more questions coming in, I am going to say goodbye. Thank you all for showing up. Oh, next weekend. So we've got 2 more live streams in this little series of the fall of your senior year. So next Sunday, and Carly, maybe you can write these down, October 30th at 11 a.m. Central Time, we're going to be doing kind of a dual live stream. It's going to be an AMA, like last minute questions about getting ready for your early applications for November 1st. So I'm just going to be here answering any questions you want. But I'm also, before I do that, I'm going to do a brief PIQ for the UC apps, because you'll be writing those in November if you haven't yet, or you'll be editing them now. So we'll be talking about the UC PIQs plus an AMA getting ready for your final apps. That's October 30th. November 6th, we'll be doing a interview workshop where I'll be preparing you for interviews, helping you get your invisible backpack of stories ready, talking about some questions, talking about things that you probably will get asked. Let's see. Okay, let's see here. Haha, I had some trouble transitioning between like my main topic and then what challenges it. It's like I'm an artist, but I can't touch paper. And I don't know how to transition to having a med conflict, I guess. Is that what you're trying to say? I like that, though. That's like a really interesting sentence, by the way. I'm an artist, but I can't touch paper. Don't worry too much about transitions. I think what I found is that, from medical. Yeah. I think that what I found is a lot of you worry a medical condition. Thank you very much. Don't worry too much about transitions. Use your paragraphs for transitions. Just jump into the next paragraph. Don't worry too much about having transitional statements over and over. I find that those are frequently what I'm eliminating from students' essays when I'm reading. You're welcome. And Silk Berries, if you're kind of concerned about it and you want me to take a look, just be sure you email me at that admissionsmom826@gmail.com. Ask for my guidelines, and you can send me your essay, and I'll take a look. I have a question about an arts portfolio. I don't know anything about arts portfolios, to be honest with you. So I am not the right person to ask that question to, but I think there probably are people around there. I do think it's cool that you're an artist, though. You're welcome. Any last minute questions, any last minute things? I'm going to close off. Thank you all for coming. For those of you watching in the future, thank you all for being here. And Carly, do you want to jump on and say goodbye too? Thank you, Carly, for being here with us. I'm going to take this off. Yeah. All right. Thanks so much, Carly, for being here with me today and supporting and being help. And thank you to the rest of you. Have a wonderful week. Hopefully I'll see you back next week. Bye.
Bye.